Hello, this is John Wynn and my
And
host Bill Atay,
yes, sir.
and this is the Doomer Bloomer podcast. I thought you were going to take it away. Anyways, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's how shit goes. So, Mr. Billy Bill, what are we talking about this evening on the Doomer Bloomer podcast?
We're going to talk about Ricky Gervais in his Golden Globes speech.
Yeah, it's a bit old news at this point, but I mean, it was too much of a legendary roast of the elite, for us to pass up. So we got to talk about that.
Opioid vending machines in Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver, BC, for us, for our international listeners here, BC, British Columbia, Canada.
Elon Musk, his mission to Mars.
That's going to be good.
And having an abundance practice.
Yep.
Not to mention finding your best sleep practice. So polyphasic sleeping, which I have been practicing for a little bit. And also,
I'm looking forward to hear from that, your perspective on that. I'm not too familiar with it, so it'll be an instructive podcast for me and our listeners.
And also the soy burger, or also known as Beyond Meat, which is owned exclusively by A&W, and Tim Hortons has a version of it, and
Starbucks now too.
Starbucks and Burger King, and is Apu from The Simpsons racist AF?
It's your that's well, as we know, well, me and you know, maybe not our listeners, but the voice actor that voices Apu is quitting Apu due to leftist pressure
after 30 years.
After 30 some years, yeah. Show started in 89.
Yeah, 1989. I know, right?
Yeah.
That's the year I was born, 1989.
Oh, damn, eh?
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of screwed up.
Yeah. It's unacceptable.
It's kind of a part of my childhood.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Quickie Mop. Sorry, I don't do a very good Indian accent. Sorry.
Thank you. Come again.
Thank you.
Man,
come again.
I must. Man, I've been saying that since I think I've been 12 years old, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You're a little bit.
I mean,
though.
Yes. I mean, like Apu, man. Like Apu's an iconic character. I mean, they say it's racist because I guess he fits the stereotype that Indian people own quickie marts, which is totally true.
Kind of.
Any big city here in Canada
or the United States,
or probably even worse in the U.S.
Well,
not worse in the sense that it's bad, but it's like
the Simpsons is based in Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Well, they never say where it is, but Springfield is like any town USA type of thing.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
And yeah, I mean, look, they make fun. Like, I actually saw a Simpsons episode and it cracked me up. I mean, they were talking about Canadians, and they were making fun, and they made fun of like the French Canadians and the Newfoundlanders, which I'm
Yep.
a bit part of both.
Yep.
And
Literally.
yeah, and they use like a Canadian version of Ralphie to encompass like those two ethnicities of Canada. Well, they're not really even ethnicities, and they made them like they were basically saying the Canadians in the Simpsons episode were basically saying that Newfies were the R word, aka retards, and
Sorry.
yeah, like I mean, like they. What's going on, Bill?
Well,
I just saw the sound wave spike.
I
that
know.
laughing.
But do you know what the retard test is?
Oh no, I don't.
Put your hand over your face.
No.
Do it.
Nope.
If you do it, you're a retard.
Ah, there you go.
Because I'm gonna come behind you and smash your hand into your face because you're a retard.
Oh, okay.
That's the retard test. You passed.
That was like
You passed.
all right.
Dog. You passed. You passed the retard
I'm
test.
glad.
You're not
I'm
a retard.
glad.
You're not a retard.
All right, excellent. And we're not talking about Down syndrome here. We're talking about
Retardation.
The connotation we've been using it as even when I was growing up, and this is like 20 years ago when I was growing up in school and primary. Well, no, I mean, it was never like cool to say. Well, it was never cool to fucking make fun of like someone that had that.
No, I know.
You know, there was like never like people that had Down syndrome. No one would like, hey, retard or shit like that. They never got bullied.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
It's not. It's,
you know what I mean?
It's not cool. I mean, we've all seen the movie Forrest Gump, right?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump in the book was a goddamn astronaut. Okay, in the book, goddamn astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the movie, he went to Vietnam. He went to college. He got super laid. You don't have, anyways, I'm digressing here.
Yeah, like what were we talking about? Oh yeah, so basically, Apu supposedly represents racism, but I mean, every single no one's off limits on The Simpsons. They make fun of every type of stereotype, and Apu's like one of the more likable characters.
He really is. He actually had a smoking hot Indian wife.
Yeah. And
like 13 children.
Yeah. He's like never like portrayed as like dumb or like an absolute idiot or anything like that. I mean, like look at Homer Simpson. He's like the stereotype of the typical white dumbass American. You know what I mean?
My name is Homer Simpson. I work at the nuclear power plant. I know how to do the work at the nuclear. He's he's the true meaning of a retard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they poke fun at and they do it in a way that's not offensive. I mean, if you look at South Park, I mean, Eric Cartman fucking calls Kyle a fucking Jew all the time.
I know, right?
Or the one where the Chinese and the Japanese go at each other.
Welcome to Shitty Walk. Welcome to Shitty. May I take your audio? Shitty Walk.
Or when Cartman starts a jewelry business and he goes in to buy jewelry off these Asian women, he's like, and like and like the Asian lady is portrayed, as like this shifty, conniving lady that tries to rip off everybody, which is has a which is a certain stereotype, especially among other Asians, man. Like other Asians will think really think that Chinese are shifty and they're trying to scam you or whatever. I'm not here to debate if that's true or not, but like South Park straight up made the exaggerated Chinese accent is like, "Ooh, you want to fuck Asian lady?" To Eric Cartman. It's like, and Cartman's like, what do you mean? Oh, well, I sell you the jewelry and I make no money. You make all money on me. You want to fuck me?
You want to fuck out? You want to fuck out?
You want to fuck the old Asian lady? That's what straight up she says. I mean, that's like, if you're gonna be picky, I mean, that's way more offensive than fucking Apu, which is actually one of the most reasonable characters on the fucking show.
And disclaimer here, like we accept all creeds and all races.
Yeah.
But funny is funny, and you don't have to apologize for that.
Yo, when I saw those jokes when they did that Canadian episode and they laughed about Quebecers,
I watched that with Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa goes into so you know what part I'm talking about, right?
I really do.
You guys are nice. Yeah, you guys are nice to everyone. Yeah, except the Quebecois and Newfoundlanders. I'm like,
and
I thought that was like the best joke. That was the best joke, even if it.
And the native people.
No, they didn't say that.
They didn't say that.
Did they?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, they didn't say that.
I'm actually part native.
Yeah. I'm supposedly am, but I don't want to pull an Elizabeth Warren. This is actually something I was considering talking about on the podcast. This Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. But she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm part Native American," and she finally got pressured to take her. I mean, she's the whitest lady you'll ever see. Like white bread crack. What bread cracker?
What cracker? Cracker.
That's what she be, you know. Like she dances. At one point, she's like dancing on stage. It's like the most awkward, cringy thing you've ever seen. It's like cringe factor 2000 straight up when you see her dance. But anyway, she was all like, this is like in the beginning when the nominees were like presenting their case to be presidential nominee, and she's like, "Oh, I'm for all people myself. I'm part Native American." It turns out she was like 1/2000th or some ridiculous number like that. Native American. I think it was 5%, which is like,
I mean,
maybe like 6-7 generations ago. There was like
her great grandmother, grandperson.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
her great grandperson.
Yeah. Supposedly I have a bit of it on both sides, but I mean, I consider myself white, right? I mean, I'm part Irish, part this, part that. But I mean I'm a North American. I'm a white guy, North American.
There you go. That's accurate.
Exactly.
Never apologize for what you are.
Exactly. Like Quebecois are known to have quite a bit of Native American in the gene pool. Like
it's really true.
Yeah. So like they like the French and the Native Americans tended to coexist a lot more.
Wow. That's why.
Not saying that there was like some horrible shit, but it was all. It wasn't like almost like a systematic extermination, like the English were trying to do with them, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where the term half blood, or in French, is called Métis. That's where the Métis status comes from.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, holy cow! Like, what haven't the Simpsons ever mocked a bit? And I find they do it in a tasteful way, man. I mean, what
Very tasteful.
you know what I mean? With the shows that are out today, like Rick and Morty,
Oh
South
God.
Park. I mean, there's a myriad of others. Those are the two I like to watch a lot. But Family Guy. I mean, Family Guy has some pretty fucking, uh, borderline racist jokes on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
American Dad.
I mean, well, yeah, exactly. Well, I guess it just goes to show, like, the guy that started this outrage, he was an Indian. He was like kind of complaining that, like, the only role model we had was Apu when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whatever. I guess you could make a case. Oh, you'd like to see more of your own people, but I mean, it's like when people
a strong brown man owning his business in America.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know.
And also having a smoking hot wife and like 13
Yeah,
and still them. Wow.
You'd bang Apu's wife.
I bet I would 100% Apu's wife.
Would you bang would you bang Miss Crabapple?
Oh,
the teacher,
Miss Crabapple? No, absolutely not.
Because she's a smoker.
A pity bang, and you're a smoker. In my eyes, you're a zero. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ned Flanders' wife was pretty hot, eh?
Oh, dude. A Christian woman, but there
you go.
That was my best Chewbacca impression.
I think we might have lost a few viewers here.
Oh, probably, but when have we ever gave a shit about viewers?
I know.
Literally.
Yeah.
Switching gears here. What do you think about Ricky Gervais and his roast at the Oscars?
Oh man, I know. Like I said, I know it's old news, but man, that was, man. He straight up fucking went into really dark territory there.
He really did. He called like most of the Hollywood elite pedophiles.
Yeah.
Sex
offenders. Said they were all sellouts, almost basically.
Yeah.
That if ISIS owned a streaming service, they'd be the first ones to line up to try to get it in on it. Man, he roasted Apple like hard while Tim Cook was right there. You saw his face, like you see his face. He's like,
my favorite.
Like Tom Hanks.
My favorite. Tom Hanks' face. Oh my god.
I know. I kind of lost a bit of respect
for Tom Hanks.
I was like, oh, stop being a bitch, Tom Hanks.
Stop being so soy, Tom Hanks. Fucking man up, buddy. Man the fuck.
He was like he looked like legitimately offended. Again, like playing devil's advocate. I mean, you can make a case, hey, this is just a celebration, blah blah blah. We don't want like every single nefarious thing that's going on.
Yeah.
And that I personally don't have. I don't want to be lumped into that. I mean, you could make a case that, just didn't find it funny. And I mean, that's cool.
Whatever.
But I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard, I might be wrong, because a lot of actors, I kind of like had respect for or just enjoyed their movies and all. I never thought, when I start hearing them get super political and just rehashing, leftist ideas and ideology constantly, I'm like, I kind of lose a bit of respect. Never heard Tom Hanks get into all that type of stuff. So
he really doesn't. He doesn't talk that much publicly, though.
Yeah, exactly. So I
But
mean, he's
his
allowed to not find it funny, but
his
at the same
his
time, I'm like, come on, lighten up, man.
his
That
facial
was
expression was hilarious.
I know. Tim
Not
Cook
gonna
too,
not
man.
gonna lie. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
man. Like I like literally pissed my pants over Tom Hanks' facial expression.
I know. It's still engraved. It's like so.
It's
It's
like,
like I see it in
woo!
my mind's eye, HD.
It really do actually.
Yeah,
Oh my god! Has he really said that right now? Oh
yeah.
god!
Like you could tell there's a lot of like nervous laughter, but a lot of people were finding it funny, and I think maybe like a good percentage of like Hollywood was actually relieved that someone said it in
Yeah,
such a brutal
exactly.
fashion.
Called them out on their bullshit.
Yeah, because like a lot of people, a lot of people in Hollywood have said, like, "Yo, we're walking on eggshells." I mean, even having like even saying something is like, "Oh, I think Trump is actually doing a good job. Can get you banned from getting roles and shit like that. Can get you blacklisted there, right?" So having someone like that spit the fucking most taboo shit in a funny way like that must have been a good relief. I think there's like a shift happening now. I think like this 10-year PC culture, is losing some momentum.
That's my take on it.
Yeah,
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I feel like 2020 is the year.
yeah. Well, on top, if Trump gets elected
Oh,
again,
I think Trump
it's
is actually.
definitely
Yeah, I think
there's a good chance. I don't think it's like guaranteed. I mean,
it's
there.
about like 80-20. 80-20.
Yeah, well, there's so much infighting within the Democratic Party. There's like
Has
Bernie Sanders.
yeah, that's but has been Trump been impeached? No.
Uh, yeah, they still haven't released the official. Like they voted to impeach, but they still haven't. Well, I'm not sure. They haven't given the documents to the Senate yet.
Hmm.
Have they? I'm asking.
No, they haven't.
They haven't still. Holy shit.
And
Okay. Wow.
it's still a Republican controlled Senate.
Exactly. That I know. So, I know like they don't want to negotiate at all with the Democrats.
I know.
Like they're like, fuck this, man. Like they're again, I don't know all the details, so I don't want to just like spew shit I'm not too knowledgeable about. But the what I'm seeing is basically they have no chance, so they're trying to get like some concessions made so like they get what they think would be a fairer impeachment hearing and all that, and like the Republicans are like, no,
Uh,
this is how it's going down, and we
yeah.
have support,
Yep.
and fuck you, you
Exactly.
know,
F you.
go suck a Joe Biden dick, you know.
Go suck a Joe Biden dick.
Basically, what I think it's Mitch McConnell, the head of the Senate.
Yep.
Um, so that's what he's saying to Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, Mitch. Yeah, the American are being
McConnell.
signed by Mitch McConnell. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, fucking. It's actually the approval ratings have been going up since the impeachment
Just
because
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, just so again there's a good chance Trump will being elected, but I mean even if he doesn't, I don't think it's going to be like a far leftist candidate. And well, there's actually you could say that's fairly far left, but I'm actually liking Yang.
Oh, I know.
He
I was just gonna mention Yang actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's for universal basic income, but he's not into all this identity politics.
He's way more centrist, right? Andrew,
Yeah. Besides the like universal basic income is definitely a leftist, idea, especially when it comes to economy wise. But yeah, he's centrist. He
way more
seems like the
centrist.
reasonable. Yeah, he seems
Yep.
like the reasonable voice.
Yep.
He doesn't participate in this like holier than thou.
I'm just looking about
Identity politics shit.
Andrew Yang is American entrepreneur, philanthropist, author, and lawyer, currently running for the president of the United States in the 2010 election.
Nice.
He's 45 years old, from Schenectady, New York State.
Yeah.
I think he has a pretty good chance.
Well, he's supposedly behind, but I think he I think if he were to run against Trump, he would have a good chance. Yeah.
Yeah, if I was American, I'd vote for Yang.
I would.
Yang 2020.
I would just for the I would actually like to see. I've heard him discuss the universal basic income.
Mm-hmm.
His plan on how to implement it and what his expectations are and all that. Yep. It would be a great experiment. It would be the first country to actually do something like that. And if it didn't work out, well, it would be an incredible lesson in history.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
We've already tried that in Canada.
With universal, well, we only did it in a small microcosm, right? Wasn't it in a small village, 10,000 people or something?
In Delphin, Manitoba.
It was in Manitoba. Okay, yeah, I thought it was Western Ontario, so close. But yeah, it was 10,000 people, right?
Yeah, in Dolphin, Manitoba.
Cool, and only. They did it for 5 or 6 years. I'm not sure. I can't remember the details. I did read about it, but I remember the effects were pretty positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Dolphin, man.
So it would be nice to see in a larger scale for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
We're kind of digressing, but
yeah, I know.
That's how this podcast goes.
Yeah, that's how we do. That's how we do up in here.
That's how we do.
Yeah, and we won't stop. We won't stop because we can't stop.
Can't stop. Can't stop this. Can't stop the Doomer Boomer podcast.
Yeah, man.
It's like the rolling ball from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It just gains the momentum.
It's exactly, and it's better get out the way.
It's gonna crush you eventually.
Yes.
I fully expect this podcast to be the top 10 on Apple pretty soon.
Yes.
Seriously, it's gonna be the top 10 on Apple. To Apple Podcasts. So
yeah.
If you're a listener, please rate our podcast on Apple and any other platform that we exist on.
Yes, like Spotify.
And please Stitcher. Please Stitcher. Yeah. Stitcher's more American.
Yeah. Digitally like our shit. It's important.
Please do it.
Please.
Please. I mean, we kind of do this of our own free will and volition.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
We do this because we genuinely give a shit. Tim Ferriss doesn't give a shit about anybody except Tim Ferriss.
Oh, you think that?
I think so. He's written like 5 books.
Do you feel betrayed by Tim Ferriss?
I kind of do, actually.
Really?
I really do. I mean, he has good information, but he does not give it of his own free will. He expects to be paid for his information.
Mm-hmm.
100%. That's why he sponsors his podcast with MeUndies.
MeUndies is a good product.
It
Bill Burr
is.
said so.
I know that
Who also is sponsored by MeUndies. I
that's
don't
true.
think like I don't like the way for some reason like Bill Burr will do the same amount of shilling I think as Tim Ferriss. I just think the way Tim Ferriss does it is a little
It,
I don't know. He really he seems more like Bill Burr seems like he's just goofing off. All right, I got to do this shit. Let's try
yeah,
to make it as funny as possible.
yeah.
And Tim Ferriss is like trying to convince you, like a used car salesman, that like this is like one of the best things he's ever came across in his
Wow.
life, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what, Tim? Like, I know we really, I know we really harp on Tim Ferriss,
yeah,
but
well, I don't. He does. Bill
uh,
does.
he he really fucking has more money than fucking God, and he's just like, hey, use my promotional code at
Yeah.
undies.com. I'm just, dude, you already are. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah. For me, like that's one of the reasons why I don't listen to his podcast that much. But I wouldn't say it's only about that. I just think sometimes like he uh, I'm not saying he's wrong about certain things, but like he'll talk, and he's not even necessarily promoting whatever product or whatever, but he'll talk about like one of the best changes in his life is having like a temperature controlled mattress where he can control his side of the mattress temperature, and how much like it made such a huge difference in his productivity. And he wasn't I don't think he was shilling it. He was just having a conversation with someone. So when he goes in those tangents, I kind of like lose interest.
Yeah, me too.
Like I love his books, right? I
Yeah,
Tools of Titans is last book I read from him, and
yeah.
I really like that book. A lot of great information and great interviews and perspectives and stuff like that. So, I mean, I like the dude personally, but when it comes to podcasting, he's not my favorite podcaster.
I know.
I'll just say that.
Do you
Yeah.
know who I think should have a podcast instead of
Who?
Elon Musk?
That'd be interesting, but he doesn't. He's kind of awkward when he talks. Eh? He's not
Uh,
comfortable.
I know he's introverted, just like me. He's very
Hmm. You don't sound introverted on this podcast, Bill.
no, because I have a persona on this podcast.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
Elon Musk decided that, oh, if I was on the Joe Rogan podcast, I'm just going to
yeah,
be Elon Musk. When I come on this
yeah,
podcast, I have a persona, and I
yeah. I guess he's too busy. I guess he's just too busy with revolutionizing the car industry, sending people to Mars.
Mhm.
You know,
He is like
creating rockets.
yep, SpaceX.
Yeah,
His new project is SpaceX. He's
yeah.
really he's really pushing by 2050
Mm-hmm.
we'll
A
have
million people.
1 million people on the
Yeah.
planet Mars.
Yeah. Who the fuck though? Like I can understand like astronauts and a few like outliers I'll want to explore. But how the fuck are you gonna get a million people to go to a shithole like Mars?
Because
Like
because
really?
because it'd be like, hey John, you're
Yeah.
this shit now. Do you want to go to Mars?
Wait, John what?
John Gagne or John Wynn.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, hey, John, like, what's your retirement plan? I was just like, hey, Bill, what's your retirement plan? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I have $1 million in the bank. I'll go to Mars.
No.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I go to Mars?
I don't know.
There's no way I'd be leaving Earth to go to Mars when there's like
He wants to
basically
he wants to send like what's his numbers here? A million people by 2050. Let's do some.
like
Yeah.
like does he like the way I didn't read too much into it like I've heard and read a few things briefly, but I'm under the impression he wants to have like 1 million people on Mars at that time, like creating like a colony. That's correct, right?
Correct. 1 million people by the year 2000.
On Mars, that will be at least semi permanent residents there. Not like 1 million people by the time it's 2050. People have been in and out of Mars, right? I just want to make sure what distinction he's making there.
1 million, sorry. 1 million people by 2050.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it's pretty like pie in the sky.
Yeah, I don't think like realistically, like would you want to go to Mars? Like, would you want to stay on Mars?
It's 30,333.677 persons per year for the next 30 years.
As of now, right?
As of right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to happen. But like the second question here is like, who would really want to leave everything behind to go to a place where, I mean, I miss having fresh food. I would miss having fresh food. I'd miss having an atmosphere. You know how pussy you'd be after coming back from Mars. Oh man, this pound of margarine is so heavy.
It's a one-way trip.
Yeah, so they'd have to stay there.
Yeah.
So he really wants like full-time colonists there, 1 million of them by
30
Well, maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll maybe they'll do like the French did a few hundred years back. The rejects of society and prisoners and stuff like that. Hey, we can give you a life sentence or death row, or you can go on a permanent one-way trip to Mars.
New Mars.
Yeah.
Instead of New France, it'd be New Mars.
Yeah.
Literally, New Mars.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way he's going to ever make his quota.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, 1 million people would willfully go to Mars permanently.
No.
I mean, that's like leaving your friends, your family, your life. But like even if you have like a shitty, fucking minimum wage job, and like you're still doing a lot better than the people on Mars. I mean, like imagine anyone that has a decent standard of living. They won't want to go to Mars permanently.
No.
I
personally like enjoying breathing oxygen and nitrogen.
Yeah. What a coincidence. Me too.
Yeah, me too. I really like enjoying breathing oxygen.
I enjoy the breathing.
The breathing.
Yeah, the breathing is very good.
Very good on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
So I mean, like right now, Mars as it is a shithole. Now, if you got realistically having a few thousand people on Mars, like people that have like this calling to explore and be a pioneer in something, in whatever their field is, that's possible, and gradually gradually from there, um, attract more people. You'd have to create some opportunities on Mars that would entice people to go there. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Realistically, we're going to have a moon base first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I'm definitely not going to Mars. That's for sure.
Not in my life.
You?
Not in my lifetime, no.
Unless you can come back,
Exactly.
Maybe, yeah. Well, if I'm still young at 100 years old, and there's like a decent infrastructure, we are able to drastically increase the speed, because it's a 2-year trip now, right? Presently, with the technology we have,
it's 26 months.
Yeah, so a little over 2 years to go to Mars. Say in another 70 years, incredible breakthroughs are done. Maybe we reduce it to 6 months or something. I might do it. If with advances in technology, say at 100 years old, we're still pretty much the same people we are, health wise, and biological age and all that. We're still in good form, like some people are saying we will be. Then who knows? A 6 month, like a 2-year like type of expedition, 6 months going, a year on Mars, and another 6 months coming back, type of thing. Who knows? It might be interesting, but never to live there. Holy crap, man!
No, because in order for Mars to be a viable project, you need to have people of a certain class of life, engineers, people with technical knowledge. It's kind of a pipe dream.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yep. Yeah. So, what's his plan for people on Mars? Like, what would be the incentive? Like, you've read more into this than I have. Did he mention how he was going to get these people? Did he have an idea, or
no?
He's just like, a million people?
Just like Elon Musk. As much as I like the man, love the man.
Yep.
He only really
talks a lot of shit.
He talks a lot of shit on Twitter.
Yes.
All the time.
Oh yeah. That's what makes his stock so volatile.
It really does.
Yeah. Tesla stock is one crazy stock, man. It over doubled its money since October.
Yeah.
Talk about abundance.
Abundance. Do you have an abundance practice, John?
A practice, I would say yes. It doesn't feel like a practice anymore.
Yeah.
I just try, to, like, something I do is reminisce, from one point in time to another.
Yeah.
How one point in time, where I was at one point in time, and where I am now, and that typically puts things in perspective, because I guess I'm naturally impatient, and like a lot of things, a lot of my endeavors, I lose patience with them because I want results a lot quicker than I actually get. But when I actually, do a timeline, I realize that, I'm getting some pretty good results in what I do fairly quickly. Reminiscing and, relativizing where I've been is definitely helps. Being grateful, gratitude is definitely is definitely good. Like being grateful for what you have now and being able to enjoy what you have now while still planning and striving for better is creates a positive balance in one's life.
Do you have a written practice? Do you,
A writ
or do you write it down every day?
Well, I've no, I don't. I've done that type of stuff on occasion through the years,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes like I guess like when I'd start a new business or go into a new endeavor or whatever, I'd have like what I like to call the eye of the tiger, kind of like when Apollo Creed talks to Rocky. This is an old reference, but
Mm-hmm.
I think in Rocky 3, Apollo tells Rocky, he's like, "Yo, he has to fight against Mr. T. Mr. T is this monster," and Apollo's like, "Yo, you're gonna get killed." He doesn't have the eye of the tiger. He's kind of gotten like complacent with his status as a champion, and he's not the underdog fighting to be on top anymore. So sometimes I like to remind myself that I need to get that energy back again, and sometimes writing it down and even getting pissed. But I would say for abundance, because like having an abundant life of all kinds of things. But let's just talk about like money for now, money and success and all that. It's a holistic approach, right? I know
Correct.
if I go to the gym and take care of my health, it's going to have a positive impact on my finances most of the time, because I'll have better sleep, better brain function. So when I do need to have a sharp brain to do what I do, I'll have that. But it's not the only reason why I go to the gym either, right? As an example. Same with meditation, same for fasting and all that. So I like to think that everything I do has an abundance approach in different fields, not just like money, I guess. Because like, health is abundance in a sense, right? Prosperity is abundance. Beauty, having beauty in your life is abundance. Looking good, even looking good. I mean, that's abundance in a sense. So I guess whatever I practice to improve my life is an abundance practice. That's the way I see it.
But do you tell yourself every day, I am grateful, appreciative for the things that I have in my life?
I might not phrase it like that, but I try to be grateful. I try to think. I actually I've been doing this for a couple years now in Tom Ferriss, in Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
That's one of the chapters that stuck the most. That type of practice. So I like to practice gratefulness. I don't do it in a systematic way. But whenever I get a little bit tired, mentally tired or whatever, and my mind starts to entertain a more negative variety of thoughts, which happens, fairly regularly. I kind of like reframe it into gratitude, and which helps me have good energy. I've noticed for me when I do something too regimented, I'm able to do it and it'll create a positive effect. But then there's like a pushback from my brain, and it's almost like I become allergic to it. So I've noticed like being a little bit more organic with practices like that. Those are all good practices. When I can't kind of incorporate them organically throughout my day, I find I have better results with that.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Yeah.
I
And
tend,
that's for me. That's for me.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I tend to write a lot of things down because
yeah.
I just, if I don't write it down, then it never happened. Uh,
Hmm.
if I physically write on a piece of paper, I am grateful because I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise. If I write it down, I physically feel the things that I'm grateful for.
Yeah. Writing will also use different parts of your brain than if you say you type it,
Yeah.
or say if you writing really uses um, a lot of parts of your brain. It's actually a fairly complex thing, a lot more than typing actually. So if you actually what I did, I remember a few years back when I was working on uh, an e-commerce store. I kept on writing every day that every day uh, I make 3 grand a month with this store, easy peasy, over and over and over again. And it kept me pumped, right? Because I forced myself to write it 10 times a day as a practice. And I guess what it did is it kind of forced me to keep on working on it on that e-com store, which I don't have anymore because Facebook ads, for some, I have no idea why, but they said one of my products didn't meet the guidelines, so I'm not allowed to advertise on them with them anymore. So, but yeah, I've tried a myriad of things, and a lot of things I don't do, and then I'll get back to doing them and all that. But I have like so many different practices, and I guess I'm so volatile with my discipline too, and I'm interested in so many things that I kind of always gotta keep a certain state of flexibility and flow on my different practices. But any practice that is consciously and actively promoting, no matter what it is, promoting abundance, I think is definitely something someone should consider doing in their life. I mean, so many people are feel stuck, and are stagnant with their status quo life.
Well, I feel if you take the time to appreciate what you have, it will start to bring the things into your life and stop blocking energy flow,
Yeah, I agree.
right? Because at the bare minimum, you have a roof over your head. You have hopefully have a family that loves you, cares about you, gives a shit about you.
Yep.
Um, at least where we live in Canada, I think there's a minimum standard of living you can attain.
Yep.
And if you take the time to just appreciate what you have, more things will realistically tend to flow into your life.
Yeah. Well, it does. Like, let's say we take away like some of the more nuanced, or uh, like the more advanced reasons of why this can help you. At the minimum, it's going to breathe in positive energy into yourself, right?
Mhm.
If you're thinking about all the shit that's wrong one morning, and you got shit to do, and you start saying, "Well, I got good stuff going on," blah 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 blah. That's already a positive shift in your brain that can completely change the outlook of your day. Because I've noticed with me, like the first hour, uh, a lot of times, like what I'm feeling the first hour from when I wake up. Uh, a lot of times will determine the rest of my day. So, and I actually practice gratitude, especially when I really don't feel like doing what I need to do during my day. Gratitude and just appreciating the moment and what you have and what your situation is. Even the stuff that seems like just like having running water.
Exactly.
Like seriously, I've done that a lot, and like you said about like just living in Canada, like especially in my darker times a few years back, I used to think about that a lot. Like I used to be, I mean, you could be on the streets and still have a lot more resources available to you, even if you don't have a job and you have nothing. But you still have more opportunity and resources than if you live, in a lot of compared to a lot of countries in the world.
Yeah, third world countries.
Yeah, well, even some countries that aren't even considered third world. Well, like look at Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how bad it is or how it is now. We do
Yeah.
have some. We might have some guests pretty soon that can give us a better insight. But I know it's far from the quality of life that we have here or in the U.S. or even the European countries. I
Well,
mean,
because they've lived in communism for close to 50 years,
yep,
and it's they've just now come out of it after in the last 30 years.
yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's still a certain form of communism. I mean, like old ideas, ideologies like that don't completely disappear.
No, they tend to persist. They tend to persist.
Yeah, yeah. They like I'm sure there's been a lot of changes, but I mean, it's hard to completely restructure mentalities and um, fundamental ways of governing and doing things and all that in the space of 30 years.
In Soviet Russia, podcast listen you
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm definitely grateful to be born in Canada. Being born in Canada is like winning the jackpot.
Yeah, because you have at least the freedom of mobility. Um, you have the opportunity to have social insurance. You have a lot of
Yep,
nets that a lot of other places in the world don't have.
yep, yeah. But
I am grateful.
but the cold though,
Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh.
It hit -45 in at certain times last week in Edmonton. I know it was even colder in your area.
No, yeah, it was minus 50 Celsius.
Yeah.
Ugh. I spent a lot
Oh,
of I
it
spent a
was
lot of time.
-50
Yep. In with the wind chill.
on all. Holy shit, man!
Yeah, it
But
was with
-45 was for.
yeah, with the wind chill factor minus 45, 50, and I spent a lot of time sleeping.
Oh man! But you were working outside some of those days, right?
I was.
Man,
I was working at ambient temperature negative 33, 35 degrees.
god damn!
And with wind chill factor, it felt like minus 50
God damn, man!
Celsius. But
Brr.
I'm grateful.
You
I am
yeah,
great.
man, you got to be grateful somehow because you'll kill yourself in working in that shit, man.
I spent 2 weeks wearing long john underwear. 2 weeks,
Yeah, yeah,
and on top of my other clothing,
yeah.
and I spent a lot of time sleeping. a lot of.
Well, at least you didn't get beheaded or stoned to death for practicing witchcraft because I don't know, you took magic mushrooms one time. It's what they do in Saudi Arabia. Like if you do like something like really what they would consider weird, like if you talked about like psychedelic or talking to entities like because you smoke DMT, you'd have the Maoris police, which are basically the religion police down there, arrest you for witchcraft or some shit like that. Oh, he's talking to demons. He I talk to demons. I'm a dragon. I'm a dragon.
I'm a dragon. Oh my god. The dragon police are gonna come get you, John.
Yeah. Well, if you're another kin in Saudi Arabia, you're definitely going to get beheaded. So I'm grateful that even though I'm not another kin, I could be if I wanted to. You know, I could go up to I'm like, Bill, I got something to say.
Yeah.
You know, I've been living in the closet for years. I'm actually a dragon.
Yep. I identify.
They really exist.
You identify dragon, John? That's your
yes.
Idea?
Yes.
I accept you the way you are.
Well, you better. We're in Canada, man. You can't go against my self identity, man.
I know.
What are you talking about?
It's the way it is.
It's the way it is.
The way she goes.
I'm grateful.
Very grateful.
Well, I'm grateful we're I was going to say I'm grateful this podcast is coming to an end. I didn't mean to want to say that, but anyways, it is what it is. So I am grateful that we've been going through most of our subject matter here. What else did we have to cover? I think you wanted to talk about polyphasic sleep. Is there something else we're missing here?
The soy burger.
Oh, the soy burger. Yeah.
Beyond Meat, which I wish
Beyond Meat.
I wish I had invested in stock in the Impossible Burger Beyond Meat like 5 years ago. I wish I had.
Well, you couldn't. Beyond Meat actually just got their IPO launched this summer.
Their initial public offering? Yes.
It was actually they were released this summer, this spring. It was in 2019.
Right.
So if you want to wish for stuff like that right now, you should have wished for Tesla, or that's where, or even Apple. Like Apple, like, man, if you would have bought that, like even in 2010, I think it was like only like $60 or something. It's like 320 right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a lazy stock investor, so is what it is.
Well, you're an investor. You're not a trader, right? I trade.
That's the main difference, I think.
Yeah. You could still invest in Beyond Meat. Actually, it had a decent pullback where this company is probably it's hard to say because like you probably invest with a fundamental perspective. So you're investing and seeing what the true value of the company is and how it's going to perform on the marketplace long term. So like you got to check its competition and all that. So I don't know if Beyond Meat would be a good investment long term, just because like all these other big companies are catching on. Like General Foods and whole host of established companies that have been in business for 100 years are catching on. But I mean, they really got a brand name. Like they really established themselves as the brand the go-to brand for anything vegan.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it might be a risky, not necessarily risky, like you'd lose all your money. It might be a stock that's not going to produce much in the future, but it might be actually a stock that grows a lot. And just the fact that they have deals with Costco, McDonald's, A&W. They just made a deal with
Burger King,
Starbucks.
Denny's.
Yeah. Just recently with Starbucks, they seem to have quite a good grasp on that market as of now. Anyways, so in the near future, I think it's a good investment. And if you want to invest in it, I mean, if you do a little bit more research on it, you can make your own decision on that. But I don't think it would be foolish to after the pull down. Like everyone's going crazy. Like it rose like 200%, like in the space of a couple months. But then, like all big spikes like that, it crashed. It did exactly like Bitcoin did at the end of 2017. Like if you look at the chart, it's exactly the same thing. But like, what do you think about the burger? Have you ever tried any of? I had the Beyond Burger at A&W a year ago.
Yeah, me as well.
You've tried it,
I've tried it.
and what do you think?
It's solid.
It's okay.
I mean, it's not meat, but it's the next closest thing to meat.
Yeah, I mean, if I were like if I did decide to be a vegan, but I really missed meat, I definitely wouldn't be displeased with their product. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But probably the next big thing that's going to be the equivalent to the Beyond Meat craze is going to be lab grown meat.
Yep. It's coming.
That's coming. I think we'll see that commercialized within the next 10 years. So real meat, quality control and all that, without harming any animals. That'll be very interesting. So, speaking of hamburgers right now, I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we've covered everything here. I never thought a vegan food item would get me hungry here. So kudos to you, Beyond Meat.
You have a vegan heart on.
No, I don't. I'm not craving for a Beyond Meat burger, but the burger was good enough that I had that it started getting the rumblings going. You know. If you it wasn't disgusting is what I'm saying. It wasn't like, oh my god, it was so gross, it actually cuts my appetite.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, so did you have anything to add to this fabulous number 12 podcast? This is our 12th podcast, right?
Number 11
episode. Sorry, I'm a time traveler.
Yeah, I know. We as we know, time is now.
Yes.
It's all relative.
I was only in future now and came back, and I got confused with my timelines, man.
Exactly.
I apologize.
I thought I was in 2019 for about a month. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. You said it.
It is what it is. Time is now.
Yeah. Wise words.
Please buy MeUndies from Tim Ferriss.
Yes.
Just to make him look like an idiot.
How does that make him look like an idiot?
Well, I don't know.
How does that, I'm like, oh, people are giving me free money still? Okay.
Yeah, I'm really tired of his nonsense.
Okay.
I really like his books, but his podcasts suck dick.
A better way would be like make fun, mock the MeUndies commercial constantly under his comment sections on his
You really,
YouTube videos,
yeah,
and
you really have to do that, please.
yeah. Well, I'm not saying that Bill is. Bill is your master on this one.
Yeah,
I'm just the innocent spectator.
right. Of course.
Yes. It is what it is, Bill.
It
It
is
is
what
what
it
it is. A
is. Is
wise
what it
man
is.
said that a few times.
A wise man said
A
that.
few times.
uh, this podcast is really morphing into something. But if you enjoy
It's
it,
morphing.
yeah,
Yes.
if you enjoy it, please subscribe on all of our platforms, whether that be Spotify, Apple. Please leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. Apparently, it's
Mm-hmm.
a platform. Stitcher, which is big in the United States. And you can always reach us at our Twitter, at Doomer Podcast.
And
And
you can also see catch reruns of this podcast also on YouTube, and
yes,
you can even leave comments on there too. Um, Feel free, and like we have discussed before, we are open to having some guests on. We should be having guests within the next month now, pretty soon. So that will be very interesting. And anywhere, any ethnicity, any part of the world, as long as we can have a conversation in English, we are definitely interested in learning about new things and new areas of the world that we're not familiar with, and just having a fresh perspective on things.
yep, for true, for the true,
Oh, for true, man.
for
For
true,
true, Doyo.
for,
My
for
name is first name for true, Doyo. Last name Doyo.
oh yo.
For true, Doyo. All right, Bill. Mr. Ite, I will be signing off. If you had any last remarks, it's time right now.
Follow Billite on Instagram.
Perfect.
Yep. Cheers.
Excellent. So this is the Doomer Bloomer podcast signing out. Cheers.